chop throttle and she just glides in. Get her a little closer to me. I don't want to walk that far. Welcome to the shop. I have the FMS Easy Trainer, Bixler style, almost 1.3 meter plane, simple as it can be. You know, 4-channel, and that's it, right? Chuck it, fly it, have fun with it. Nice thing about this system, this is the ready to fly system. So you have a charger, battery, a single battery, mind you, so I want to buy some more, and a basic transmitter. I tested this from a beginner's perspective, and you know, plane flew great. I'm going to go into a lot more detail, obviously, on the assembly and the parts and the pieces and such. But in the end, I'm going to go over quite a bit on what do I think about this RTF system, the plane itself, and the RTF system, and what you might think about differently, you know, when you buy this thing. So stick around. Let's get into the parts and assembly, and we'll do some flying. Come back to the shop. Stick around. Let's review the parts. Like all FMS planes, the parts are packaged very nicely, kept very safe. Let's dig in and take a look at the wing. Foam hinges, standard control rods, plastic servos. You've got tag end there for your aileron. That'll need to get disconnected and shoved through the fuselage. Documentation. Stabilizer, again, foam hinge, and you'll have to glue in the control horn, or the control horn. Fuselage, you know, simple foam, sturdy. The foam's good quality. It's a pusher prop configuration. Prop's already installed. We'll have to glue in that horizontal stabilizer. Battery compartment, where we have a Fly Sky receiver, a 20 amp ESC. This ready to fly comes with a battery charger. Comes with a 13 milliamp 2S battery, a little bag of parts that are used for assembly, and we got the transmitter, which requires 4 AA batteries. Pretty simple, basic. I'll go into more details about the transmitter later. Hidden inside the packaging is this super important fiberglass wing spar. Don't forget it. Just want to point out the battery compartment. Got the receiver pushed down there, the ESC is pushed in the back, and our battery that comes with it slides perfectly in place. You'll need to get some more of these 2S 1300s. Let's assemble. There is not much to the assembly. First thing we're going to do is glue on the control horn onto the horizontal stabilizer. Pretty simple, keys in. I'm going to first rough up the surface with a little sandpaper. Then I'm going to clean everything off with alcohol. Just trying to make a good contact surface, and then using a little bit of foam tack and gluing everything together. We need to glue that horizontal stabilizer in place. It kind of slides in, keys in right there. I want to make sure, because it's kind of floppy, I'm going to find the center of the stabilizer, make a mark, so when I insert it and apply all the glue, I can make sure that it is lined up in the right location. It's centered and not floppy. Before I glue it, I want to make sure also that it will adhere well. So I do scrape it up a little bit with a knife, clean it with alcohol, and then apply my glue. I don't go too crazy with the glue, just enough, and then I use a hobby brush like that and to spread it around, slide it in place, make sure that it is lined up on my mark that I have there so it's centered. Next, we're going to install the wings. So the wings, basically you're going to have to clip the zip tie that holds all those servo wires. Then basically you're going to slide on that fiberglass spar. It doesn't go in place. I had to scrape it up a little bit, or at least round off the edges so it slid in place properly. Then it's a matter of sliding that along with all the wires. There is a Y connector that is already attached to the receiver. That Y connector connects basically the aileron. So the 2 aileron wires that come off of the wings need to go into a cavity in the wing, provided in the wing area, and you need to pull all those wires through. Then connect it and push in these little tabs to little round kind of nails, if you will, and they just click into place. Make sure they are seated fully and there's an audible click, and that the wings are locked into place. Now that Y connector is going to get connected back onto the receiver, and now we're ready for setup. Before we power this thing up, I removed the prop just to make sure, especially with these RTFs that don't have throttle cuts. First thing, we turn on the transmitter. Then we're going to power it up by plugging in the battery into the ESC, and make sure the throttle is down, off. And then it's going to go through a couple little tones, and now we're up and running. I'm going to confirm that all the servos are working properly. Now note, remember, we did not connect the control horn to the elevator, so we're going to have to do that. If you've never installed a control rod, pretty simple. One end is going to go to the servo arm, and then the other is going to go into the actual control surface, the control horn. Sometimes you have to turn the turnbuckle, or that clasp, in or out to make sure that the elevator, whatever the control surface is totally neutral. It aligns with the tabs and the rest of the stabilizer. So you got to move it in and out and then connect it. It's really important that you check the control surfaces to make sure they're moving in the right direction. You know, the ailerons are moving correctly, rudder, elevator, all of those things. Since the transmitter doesn't have any way of reducing the throws, which makes the plane very sensitive if you have too much throw. The documentation clearly states what those throws should look like. I recommend you try to get this to be basically the low throws if you're a beginner pilot. And you can do that by making some adjustments to the servo arm and control horn basically setup. Center of gravity is documented in the manual there. Basically, it's if you see where the ruler is, it's right there on that plastic piece that's pretty much right over where the wing spar is. The stock battery pushed all the way forward gets a great CG. Plane's assembled, set up, everything's checked, and now it's time to go to the field and fly. One more check. Oh, put the prop back on. Make sure you put the propeller on the correct way. Maiden hand launches can be a little fretful. It's helpful if you do have somebody launch for you. In this case, I did it myself, and everything was okay. By the way, this is a windy day, about 10-mile-an-hour winds, and this plane does not have a gyro installed. Here's a little trim. A little windy out. Trimming in the wind isn't ideal. Controls aren't too sketchy as far as, push that nose forward a little bit more. Come back here, do throttle cut, just see how she flies. No throttle. She glides really well. Look at that, nice. I'm just flying on about a quarter throttle here, and easily cruises around. Power wise, let's see. Not unlimited vertical. That's okay. It's actually a little bit anemic. I'm wondering if bumping it to a 3S would give it significantly more. The rudder is very, you got a lot of authority on that rudder. So it's an easy flyer. It's an easy trainer. Mainly just using elevator and aileron to turn. accelerating a little in the turn there. Take her up and stall her. Full elevator, and doesn't really, just kind of wallows around a little bit. We got some wind, so it's not helping me. Just maybe pushing her around a little bit. Trying to stall it. Yeah, there it goes. So it will stall. It's not stall proof. There is no stabilization at all on this plane. Roll rate is super slow. This is not an aerobatic zippy plane. But frankly, that's not what this plane is about. This plane is for that first plane that you want something that you can just toss and it flies. It's just easy, simple flyer. No frills, just cruise around, burn up some batteries, and you don't have to worry about landing on a runway. None of that. You can just land wherever the heck you want. That's what this plane is about. Just having some fun flying the thing slow. How slow will it fly? It glides easily. Just don't give too much up elevator or else it'll stall on you. But just doing nice, slow flybys. Now I do have a battery alarm on here that will tell me when I am at about 3.7 volts in a cell. Pretty simple plane. I mean, there's not much to it. Bringing her for a landing. Get a good approach. Nice thing is, I don't have to worry about a runway. Keeping the nose down a little bit, a little throttle, get her closer in. Get that nose down so she doesn't stall. And that was pretty simple. Welcome back. So, look, you saw the assembly of it. Couldn't be simpler. The parts go together pretty easy. Got to glue some things on. Routing the cables was the biggest pain as far as on the assembly. It's not a problem. It's just one of those things you got to do sometimes. It's an older model. It's just a simple setup. Anyway, so I thought the plane from a beginner's perspective, slow, easy, handles well. The control surfaces that I used and set up, which I told you what I used on the from the manual, work fine with the ready-to-fly transmitter. Performance, though, as far as doing loops and rolls and all kinds of aerobatic, that's not what this plane is going to do. When it comes to the ready-to-fly portion of this plane, and I'm talking about the big piece transmitter, I've talked about these FMS ready-to-fly planes quite a bit. I have videos on setting up and how to use this as well as Reflex, which is the gyro. There's so many different options there, but this is as basic as you get. Highly recommend, as soon as you decide that you want to get into this hobby, you're going to be doing some upgrading, and you're going to upgrade to a different radio. And I'm going to have a whole nother video on just kind of some options for you and what to think about when you decide to do that. when you buy one of these, it comes with one battery. That one battery isn't going to last you forever, and you're going to need to have several batteries. There's just the way this hobby is, we run off these batteries. Having one battery isn't going to get you very far. I would recommend 3 or 4 of these little guys if you can. This little the size with this JST plug, FMS sells them, and you can get them other places as well. The battery charger on this that comes with it, it works, but it's going to take almost an hour per battery. So there are other options out there. I've done a ton of videos on different types of chargers as well, which when I do the next video where I talk about different ready-to-fly systems, primarily looking at FMS ready-to-fly systems, both the Ranger and this plane, what are some of the things that you need to think about when you decide to get into this a little bit more serious? So anyway, from a standpoint from the plane's perspective, it's a good flying plane. Highly recommend it from a beginner perspective. If you're so inclined, put a reflex gyro in it. So you have basically self-leveling, you have wind mitigation, and that'll help out, I think, quite a bit for some of the newer pilots that want to use this thing. Nice thing is, though, I mean, it's you can land it anywhere, and who cares? Anyway, so my opinion on this plane, good, basic, simple, beginner plane. It's a Bixler, and they're kind of bomb-proof. So anyway, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you like this kind of stuff, hit that like button. Links in the description below for all kinds of stuff. So check that out if you're interested. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.